Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. I was going through some old computer files the other day, and I came across some stuff from the old Classical Awards that I used to run at the MIDEM trade show in the late 1990s and 2000s. And there's a story here that was so much fun. I thought I would tell you about it. It just was an extremely entertaining moment. It was my first major encounter with the classical music military industrial complex on a major scale. And I caused an international incident. Oh my goodness, yes, me. Poor little old me. I mean, I understand. Diplomacy and politicking has never exactly been my strong suit, and it certainly wasn't back then. And it was quite the episode, and I just wanted to share it with you because I think it just makes a terrific story and a cautionary tale for those of you getting into the business. Anyway, this whole episode concerns the award that we gave in the year 2001. Now, it was really a very, very nice award ceremony. We had lots of celebrities. I found some photos from it. I mean, we had Galina Vishnevskaya and Mstislav Rostropovich getting Lifetime Achievement Awards. And here's some photos. I'm going to put up some pictures. Here's me giving the award to Madame Vishnevskaya, which was just tremendous fun because she's such a great artist. And it was a pleasure that she came, and she came with Rostropovich. Here they are together. And they brought their kids. I mean, the whole family was there. It was, their two daughters. It was really quite something. And Alfred Brendel was there to get a Lifetime Achievement Award. That was also very exciting. The only sad thing about Brendel was that he didn't come to play the piano. He came to read his own poetry, which I was regretfully not able to attend the Alfred Brendel poetry reading. He considers his poetry to be just as important as his piano playing, and sadly, maybe it is. I don't know, but he was there, and then Daniel Barenboim was there. That in itself was a spectacular event, and quite a story all by itself, which I think I've mentioned before, but I may say it again sometime when the appropriate moment. And Jordi Savall was there. Here he is, accepting an award from the editor-in-chief of Scherzo magazine in Spain. That's Antonio Moral. A lovely guy. We had a great time, and all the editors of the various participating magazines on the jury. And the award itself was really a bit of a contentious event every year, not because we had any problem giving the awards, but because it became something of a political football within the Reed MIDEM organization, which was the sponsor of the award. I don't know if you know what MIDEM was, but MIDEM stands for Marché International du Disque et Édition Musicale. It was a big trade show, a world trade show for the world of music, recording, publishing, everything to do with music. And it was held in the Palais des Festivals in Cannes every winter. That is January or February for the most part. And it was huge. I mean, classical music was just a small portion of the whole thing. And I remember when we got started with when I came up with the idea of doing this award, which I chaired for about 10 years or so. They said the person who worked for the MIDEM organization, who agreed to do it and who organized the whole thing and set it up, this is a very, very bureaucratic thing. I mean, it was basically a huge company that produced trade shows of all different kinds. There was MIDEM, there was MIPCOM, there was a whole bunch of things. But she said, you're going to do it, and it's going to be successful, and as soon as it gets successful, they're going to step in and screw it up, which is exactly what happened. I mean, the award still exists in a way as the International Classical Music Awards, a successor, with which I have nothing to do. But that was how it all got started. So anyway, 2001 was a lovely, lovely ceremony, and there were a bunch of awards in different categories for recordings, mostly for recordings. It was like 25, 30 categories with all the usual, recording categories, chamber music, orchestral music, early music, the whole smorgasbord, right? And then we had special awards. And the special awards were for lifetime achievement for various artists, because bringing the artist to MIDEM is what gave the thing its gloss. The fact that these artists were willing to come and accept the award and create publicity for the entire event, and it was a win-win situation for everybody. That was the whole concept. And we always gave a lifetime achievement for composer, living composer. Theoretically living composer, because one of the things about our special awards is that, the classical music world is not exactly the universe of the young. And many of the people we gave awards to either died just before or just after, like literally within minutes of receiving their award. But, we tried. And in the year 2000, we gave the award to Penderecki. Krzysztof Penderecki, who was just terrific. What a terrific man. And we had a lot of fun. And his wife, Elżbieta Penderecka, is a force of nature. She basically controlled at that point, all of world culture, and particularly culture in Poland. And she arranged, in honor of her husband getting this award, to bring like this enormous chorus and orchestra and everything, and have a gala concert celebrating the whole thing. And they performed Penderecki's Seven Gates of Jerusalem with Penderecki conducting. It was spectacular. It was absolutely spectacular. And she organized the whole thing. It was absolutely terrific. Well, for the year 2001, the composer, the Living Composer Award, we had a special request on behalf of Schott Publishing. They wanted to give an award to Henze because it was his 75th birthday, Hans Werner Henze. Now, it's amazing. Henze passed away and a decade or so ago, and nobody cares about Henze now already. He seems to be vanishing into the mists of time. But Henze was known for his theater works primarily, principally theatrical productions that were, interpretations of well-known plots with a sort of left-wing, quasi-socialist orientation. That was his thing. And those things still get produced once in a while. They're not completely in the dust because he has a major publisher pushing his stuff. And they push his stuff because they get fees when people produce his stuff. So there is some incentive for that stuff to get produced. But the fact of the matter is, Henze was turning 75. And you may recall Simon Rattle recorded, I think, his Ninth Symphony, which had a chorus like Beethoven's Ninth, but it was really about the Holocaust. It's a horrible piece of music. Anyway, the PR lady who was the successor to the original one, who organized the award with me originally, was from Germany. And she knew, all of these German institutional music people at the Ministry of Culture in Germany, and she knew all the German publishers. So they were all really behind bringing Henze. And, whether we liked his music or didn't like his music was irrelevant. He was, at the time, a major figure in the world of classical music. And so, deservedly so or not, that's what it was. And we always accommodated these requests because it made the rest of the award, the part that we cared about, that is the awards for the recordings and doing things for the record labels that were at MIDEM, it made that possible. Because most of the labels, the reason this worked is because all of the labels came to MIDEM every year. Now with the internet and everything, none of that's necessary. But in those days, you physically had to get together once a year, which is what we would do. And we would meet and greet all of these labels, and we would talk about advertising and, doing all this stuff. So the labels were there and the magazines were there. The press was there. Everybody was there. So it made sense to do this award thing. That was the whole point of it. And so we agreed to invite Henze. And I wrote perfectly lovely invitation, explaining what the award was and telling him that, other illustrious musical personalities were coming and we would be honored beyond all imagining if he would condescend to attend the award with us lowly mortals. And I sent this off to the organization, the MIDEM publicity lady, and she sent it to Henze. It was all going through her. So, off goes the invitation. Back comes the letter from Henze, which was a hard copy, so I didn't have it in my computer files. I wish I'd saved it, but it was just a miracle of obnoxiousness. But what it said was basically this: thank you for the invitation to your award ceremony. Before I deign to accept, I need to understand with more clarity how my person and oeuvre, he said oeuvre, will be celebrated at the award. As if the entire thing revolved around him, He said, it has come to my attention that in prior years, my dear friend Krzysztof Penderecki was honored with a gala concert. And before I condescend to accept your invitation, I would need certain assurances that I would receive, at a minimum, equivalent treatment. I will be coming to New York, it's on such and such a date, and could possibly make time for you to come and pay homage to me. No, that's me. That wasn't him. But the rest was him. He really was written like this. Would come to speak to you about the award in general and all of the things you're prepared to do for me. That was the letter. And I looked at this thing and just went, what? Because for a whole variety of reasons, the obnoxiousness of it all just blew my mind. Because first of all, we were the ones who were being pressured to invite him. And we invited him with the idea that somebody at Schott, his publisher, or the German Ministry of Culture, or somewhere would have said to him, we're going to do this thing for you, you got to come. And so the invitation was just a formality. It wasn't supposed to be some sort of, negotiation. He was just supposed to say, sure, I'll be there. See ya. Have a good time. I was pissed. Oh, I was so pissed. I was just furious. And so I wrote back to him. And this is what caused the international incident. So and that's what I found, by the way. Let me read to you the letter I wrote back to the great, the one, the only Hans Werner Henze about his appearance at the award. Here we go. This was on August 26, 2000. And I wrote, Dear Mr. Henze, thank you very much for your letter. I am writing to clarify the situation regarding the award, particularly as regards your participation. The Cannes Classical Awards is an independent organization comprised of 8 international review magazines, their editors, and critics. The award is hosted by MIDEM, a trade fair, not a music festival, which convenes every January and which is attended by virtually everyone in the publishing and recording industry. Classical music forms but a tiny component of the whole. There is a very small program of musical events funded by a limited budget and administered by Monsieur Hervé Cour of TransArt Paris, who uses his personal contacts and organization to work within a very limited budget. He is, of course, aware of your having been chosen to receive our Living Composer Lifetime Achievement Award, but at this time I cannot say if he was able to work this fact into his concert plans, given the artists at his disposal and his budgetary constraints. The Penderecki event last year, a single concert, had nothing to do with the award. It was organized by Mrs. Penderecka, a professional concert organizer of great ability, and sponsored and paid for by the Polish Ministry of Culture, completely at her instigation, insistence, perseverance, and I believe the threat of creating both a national and international scandal if she didn't get what she wanted. Without her, nothing would have happened, and it certainly wasn't something we planned when we offered Mr. Penderecki the award. Perhaps your agent or secretary in Germany might wish to contact the German Ministry of Culture to see if they are interested in sponsoring a similar event. MIDEM will, I am sure, be pleased to host such a concert, but it falls completely outside my mandate as chairman of the award and would have to be organized through the lady and the people at MIDEM. I don't have to get into their names again. I don't want to deceive you with respect to the scope and nature of the award. We offer approximately 25 awards for recordings and to select artists and record labels, and the entire event lasts less than an hour. There are no long speeches, and the event itself is casual and comfortable. You will be one of several honored guests, including Mstislav Rostropovich, Galina Vishnevskaya, and producer Max Wilcox. We had a great time with Max. What a lovely man he was. Because we are working within the constraints of a trade fair, we try to keep the event itself as brief as possible, and we have a terrific cocktail and dinner party afterwards. And over the 2 and 3 days that you will be there, you will receive VIP treatment and have many opportunities to give interviews and interact with leading lights in the recording industry and the international music press. And that is the reason you should come. In short, the Cannes Classical Awards offers you the opportunity to spend a couple of comfortable days in the company of some of your colleagues and friends in the classical music community. If you take the opportunity to relax and have some fun, I have no doubt that you will enjoy yourself. If you come expecting a Henze extravaganza, you will be disappointed. Though in the 6 prior years that we have staged the award, none of our honorees has expressed anything other than complete satisfaction with the way we have handled things. Now, and here we go. This was the part that got me in trouble. Now let me be very frank with you. I found the last paragraph of your letter in which you demand equality of treatment with previous honorees amusing. In the first place, we have nothing to gain by treating anyone differently from anybody else, even if we were so inclined. Second, we worked too hard coordinating and organizing this event to allow any aspect to become contingent on giving special consideration to any single honoree. That would make our job impossible, given the number and nature of artistic egos involved. If receiving the award itself, independent of all other considerations, is not sufficient reason for you to attend, then please don't inconvenience yourself. Certainly nothing I can tell you when you come to New York will change your mind. You were selected to receive the award whether you plan to show up or not, because we value your work as an outstanding musical personality so highly. Nothing will change that. Naturally, we would be thrilled if you would come, but the presentation will go on regardless. Simply let me know what you intend to do. There is nothing further to negotiate or discuss in this regard. Thank you for your kind consideration. I want to congratulate you once again on your selection as our living composer, as well as on your 75th birthday and your important contribution to the musical culture of today. Please take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in Cannes. I'm sure we will all have a good time. Best wishes, David Hurwitz, Chairman, Cannes Classical Awards. Well, that didn't go down too well, as you could probably imagine. Henze apparently had a conniption when he read that award and realized that he was not going to be the center of attention, and he immediately made an enormous fuss with the MIDEM organization, the PR lady, the German Ministry of Culture, shot his publisher. I got bombarded with letters demanding an apology. That I send him an apology and beg that he should attend the award, to which my response was quite predictable. I said to them all, go screw yourselves. We're not doing anything for this jerk. He doesn't deserve another 2 seconds of our attention. And so that was where the matter stood. Henze did not attend. Instead, his Living Composer Award was accepted on his behalf by the head of Schott. And it was quite amusing, who told me, I might add, when I got there, he looked at me. He didn't really like me very much, but I didn't really care at that point. And he said, "Oh, he's very upset. He hates your guts." I said, "Good. Ask me if I care. I hate his music. What difference does it make, right?" So that was the international incident. But you cannot imagine how much hysteria this caused and consternation within this whole bureaucratic, interlinked nebula of the classical music world's tentacular arrangement of different organizations, all of which, in Europe, of course, operate at government subsidy, including Henze, who I really have a problem with, sort of, left-wing oriented composers who use their comfortable government subsidized lives at taxpayer expense, living in complete luxury with all of their wants and needs taken care of, to write music that talks about the poor and the working class and the oppressed. I mean, they are the biggest collection of hypocrites in the entire universe. And I've met quite a few of them in my day, but this was sort of my ultimate encounter with that, and with the egos that went with them. And I realized that, these are people who are absolutely living in their own reality, and there's no reason for them not to, because they are worshipped. They are treated like avatars of European culture. And after his passing, I look back on Henze's achievement, such as it is, and I say, avatar of European culture, where is he now, right? I mean, all the money, all of the agita, all of the crap that he dished out to everybody around him to elevate his own importance. And who gives a damn today? That is the most interesting fact of all. But I wanted to share this with you because it was just a remarkable little event in my education as a person, as a little schmageggy guy trying to put on a nice little awards ceremony amidst the barracudas of the classical music world. It was quite an episode. Anyway, I just wanted to share it with you. It was funny. I saw this letter after all these years and read it, and I just had a laugh. It was something. It was something else. Something that I'm happy to have experienced and learned. But it may give you some insight into my attitude towards this whole situation, and to the institutional infrastructure that supports all of this activity that we call classical music. So keep on listening, folks. Thank you for joining me for this little chat. I hope you got a kick out of it. I sure did. Take care.